I'm Michael Valley-Tutti, and I want to welcome you once again to Michael's Gem Talk. And today's topic is Aquamarine, that famous birthstone from March that absolutely everyone loves and has been known about, honestly, since the time of the ancient Greeks. And the Greeks were the ones who named it Aquamarine, which means seawater, the color of seawater. That's exactly what this incredible, beautiful gemstone is. It's something that continues to be loved by people all across the world. But I want to teach you about Aquamarine and exactly what it is. Well, I've already told you that it's the March birthstone. As far as wearability and durability, it's an excellent stone. It has a Mohs rating of about 7.5 to 8. So it's really quite a durable gemstone, very, very naturally scratch resistant, which is just absolutely fantastic. GIA grades all colored stones into a type 1, type 2, or type 3, depending on naturally how many inclusions those gemstones possess. So aquamarine is naturally, for the most part, very clean. So when we find it in nature, the crystals usually don't have a lot happening in it, so it's classified as a type 1 stone. So that's great for those of you that do enjoy a clean, naturally clean gemstone, because aquamarine definitely is one of them. Yet it does also occur in an opaque variety, and later on I'll show you some opaque aquamarine, which I've also sold, which is also available on our website. And that's aquamarine that has just grown opaque, where they basically get one crystal forming inside of another one, and it kind of stops the passage of light. And that's basically what it is. Well, aquamarine is part of the beryl group. Now, that group contains aquamarine, it contains morganite, and it contains emerald. So all those stones are basically the same thing, except the color is different, because in its purest form, aquamarine, which is a beryl, is an allochromatic gemstone versus an idiochromatic gemstone. So that means that in its purest form, and I'm going to show you here on my pad what that means. This is pure beryl. This beryl is completely natural, and it is naturally clean and clear. And that's what it means by allochromatic, meaning that if the stone or the mineral forms in absolute purity, it will be colorless, like a piece of glass. But we don't like that. We like it to be different colors. So how does it go from being this color to this color? Well, we don't do that. Mother Nature does that. And I'm going to teach you a secret about all beryls and why beryls are so colored and why they do occur in all these colors. Now we're going to get a little bit of scientific here, so I don't want to lose you. This is not going to be that complicated. This is the atomic structure of beryl. And this beryl, as you can see here, follows a definite atomic structure. The chemical composition is beryllium, aluminum, silicon oxide. The silicon oxide is in the middle, and the beryl is on the perimeter, and the aluminum. That's one reason why the hardness is so good on a beryl, is because the aluminum. That's why garnets are so tough. And aluminum, as we all know, is a metal. So anytime a gemstone contains anything in its atomic structure that is metallic, it tends to be a lot stronger, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the pattern of beryl, and here is a wonderful natural beryl. This is called aquamarine because of its blue color. So how does it go from being no color to this color? Very simple. When Mother Nature, believe it or not, is not perfect. So when she designed beryl, she left this gaping hole in the middle. Now this hole, as you see it here, is only 0.5 nanometer. That means that this gap here is 2 billionth of a meter. Or for those of you that don't understand the metric system, it's about 2 billionth of a yard. So it's really, really, really small. There is an element in nature called iron. In other words, to get this blue color, we need iron. So how does iron get in there? Right through the back door. That's how it does it, because an iron atom is 0.125, or 1/4 of a nanometer. So you can get all these iron atoms literally sinking down this shaft. Think of this now, if I were to hold this vertically, like an elevator shaft. And all these iron atoms, when it's crystallizing, are all falling down into the matrix. You know what happens? When Mother Nature makes a beryl, do you see all these other atoms here? Sometimes She misses a few. You ever see an old Victorian brick building and there's a few bricks missing? Well, the building doesn't fall down, right? They just replace the bricks with something else. Well, that's exactly what nature does here. So when the iron goes down this hole here, it finds an opening and it takes its position. So now this intrusion of iron will cause the color blue. Why? Because iron practices something called selective absorption. So when all the light rays enter this beryl crystal now, due to the iron and selective absorption, a lot of the rays are absorbed and only blue comes back to your eye. Now this is why beryl is also green, which is emerald, and I'll get into that when I do my show on emerald and all the other colors of the beryl. Like yellow beryl, it all depends on what goes down the shaft and where it ends up that determines whether we end up with something that is no color or something that has lots of color. And that's basically it. That is the secret of beryl and how beryl gets us color. Now let's take a look at all the different types of aquamarine. Sometimes when we go to mine aquamarine, we're going to find that it's going to be opaque. Now remember what I told you, it's a type 1 stone? So it's kind of unusual for it to be opaque, but it does exist. And oftentimes this will be at the base of the crystal. Now this is all natural aquamarine. It hasn't undergone any treatment because with the opaques, we find that if they heat treat it, it tends to crack, so they tend not to heat treat that. So a lot of the other aquamarines that they tend to find, and I'm going to move some other aquamarines into the shot here, will be like this. This one here will be different colors of blue. These tend to come, of course, from Brazil. The main country of mining aquamarine is Brazil. Nigeria also produces some great aquamarine, as does Zambia and Madagascar, but I love the Tanzanian variety, and I'm going to get into that. Now, you're going to ask me, why, Michael, do they ever want to heat treat aquamarine? Because remember what I told you about iron? Iron does two things. It makes it blue, but it also often adds a little bit of a green tinge. So they find when they take aquamarine and they put it into an oven and they heat it up, a lot of that green goes away. And I'll tell you a secret. It really doesn't go away. Remember what I was telling you about when all those iron molecules, the atoms go down the shaft, okay? Some of them get lodged in a little bit of unusual positions. So what happens is when they heat treat it, it's kind of taking it and shaking it and pushing them out to the exterior of the beryl crystal. And that means that we see the blue and we don't see the green. Remember what I told you about selective absorption. It's white light going into the stone and it absorbs the other wavelengths and only one color comes back to our eye. And this is why getting an aquamarine that has a lot of color is so coveted and something that we really don't see, because all these little things have to happen naturally in Mother Nature. Yes, we can heat treat it, but we're only modifying it. It's like cooking a pizza. If you messed up the dough to begin with, I don't care how you cook it, it's not going to taste very good. You know, you got to get the recipe right. Just because you're cooking it, it's not going to save it. So Mother Nature had to make this. All we can do is heat it up a bit to improve the color, but that is basically it. Now, aquamarine can be found with host rock, as you can see here. And you can see here, this is a little bit more of an unusual color here. What is that staining there? Iron oxide. Now you know where this, basically rust. Now you know where that beryl got its color from, the iron. And iron, as you know, is very, very prevalent in the earth. And oftentimes we'll find it embedded in with mica. That sometimes we find inclusions in it. And this is quartz and quartzite. And there is your beryl. I'll tell you another secret. When you're mining for a gemstone, whenever you see mica, whenever you see quartz, keep going, because that's when you're going to find beauties just like this. So, now that I've spoken about aquamarine, what do you want to look for when you go and get an aquamarine? I'm just going to take this away and I'm going to set up for my next shot here. I tend to like the Tanzanian variety right now, and I'm going to tell you why. In Tanzania, is really a gem-rich nation. It's East Africa. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, you know it for Tanzania, hence the name and all that. But, you know, It offers, ladies and gentlemen, so much more when it comes to gemstones of all different varieties, not just the color change garnets and all that, but also in the world of aquamarine. And when it comes to aquamarine, saturation, the amount of pure spectral hue color is so very important. Well, here I am actually at the gem show. This is one of the first times that I actually saw the material, a Tanzanian aquamarine. I mean, come on, you look at that. Now, does that look like a big crystal to you? Absolutely it is, because I'm going to go into the shot now with a shot of me holding it. Oh my goodness, there I am. That is one happy gemologist there holding an incredible, beautiful, beautiful aquamarine crystal. We did end up purchasing it. We did end up cutting it, and this is the result. I'm going to pull this out of the shot, and let's go to my pad over here, because you can clearly see the difference in saturation. Now, you know, folks, the product that comes out of Brazil is great. Now, Santa Maria is absolutely fantastic, and your Santa Maria aquamarine is going to look like this. The problem is that it's very, very expensive. What's good about the Tanzanian material is that it has a color saturation even in small specimens. This is good, and they consider this to be good quality aquamarine from Brazil. Really, really good stuff. There's nothing wrong with that at all. There's the crystal. It's a beautiful color. But look at the saturation of this material that you see here. It's absolutely unbelievable. Look at these incredible, beautiful crystals here. And what are these marks here? This is India ink. What's India ink doing there? Well, when we find a crystal, a cutter just doesn't start cutting it. He has to cleave it. He has to cut away anything that's bad. So whenever he looks at a crystal, oftentimes he will find that the only good part is dead center. And that's why he marked these areas. He's going to saw that away, he's going to saw this away, and he's only going to be left with the core. That's the juicy part. That's the part that's going to cut into this color. This is why I absolutely love, love, love Tanzanian aquamarine. Let me show you commercial grade. This is the grade that a lot of the stores sell. Very green, very, very inexpensive. And folks, this is why there's such a big variation in aquamarine prices. I mean, the color goes from that deep, dark, saturated blue, almost like you were in Crete, in Greece, and looking out of over the Aegean Sea, or of course that very, very washed out lighter color. And it all depends on the price and all that. So one thing that we try to do, that I try to do, is to find this quality at prices that everyone is charging you for that. So that is kind of my goal. Aquamarine, again, is a durable stone. You can wear it comfortably. It does not color fade like other stones. It's beautiful, and honestly, you don't have to be born in the month of March to absolutely love it. But if I can make a suggestion right now, while it's available, I would pick the Tanzania material, so you can have a smile on your face like I did when I found this material. If you're going to buy aqua, why not buy deep, dark, rich aqua? Remember, when it comes to colored stones, it's all about color saturation. Those are the most important things about a colored stone. The more color it has, the more valuable it is. That's exactly what you get with this Tanzanian material. But if you go to my website, www.gems.vogue.com, I also have some opaques, and I also have some Brazilian material, which has its place in the gem kingdom. But right now, while I got the Tanzanian material, I would go shopping. That's my story on aquamarine. Now you know the secret of why and how it gets its color by Mother Nature, and congratulations, because you know more about aquamarine than most people out there. Thank you for joining me.